Hey guys, and welcome back to another crime case video. If you were a child in a marriage and the father was physically and mentally abusing your mother, sometimes even in front of your own eyes, the mother was too scared to leave for the sake of their children. She was staying in a marriage, suffering day by day. If you were the child of that mother, what would you do? Would you take action and take her life in your own hands because she was unable to do so? How would you punish the father? How would you make him stop? If it wasn't even possible to get him to stop, because we all know abusive relationships and even more those kind of relationships never end in a really good way. The case we're going to talk about is no different than the usual cases and how they end. In today's case, we're going to talk about an 18-year-old student at the last class of high school. His name is Yanis Kolovos. He was the oldest son of a married couple. He had a younger brother who was around 10 years old, and he was a witness of the violence his mother was experienced from his father. They would sit at the living room to watch TV, they would sit at the kitchen to eat, and they would ask the kids to go to the bedroom, and the father would get physical with her mother and sometimes even tried to rape her. He would put his hand over her mouth to keep her from screaming. He would lay her down, put force on her, and put down his pants, his boxers, and he would get physical with her. It was the night of the 26th of February of 1998. It was no different than any other night. Yanis and his parents and his little brother were all sitting in the living room watching TV. After 45 minutes, the two kids leave to leave their parents alone in the living room. The parents afterwards went to the bedroom. His father starts to sexually harass his mother, who has no desire to get physical with their father, and asks him to stop again and again. He doesn't stop, and he starts to pinch her legs in order to make her hurt, to make her suffer in pain. At that time, Yanis leaves his room to go to the bathroom, and he hears his mother yelling. He jumps out, he walks in the bedroom and sees his father with his pants down, laying on top of his mother, keeping her mouth shut with his hands and her nose as well, so she wouldn't be making any noise, and even more, she wouldn't be heard. He starts yelling at his father, but his father doesn't stop. He tries to push him off, but he doesn't manage to do so, considering his father was much stronger than him. He goes to the kitchen, he opens the drawer, and he gets a hammer. He goes back in the bedroom, and for one more time he says, "Father, let go of mother." Once again he is ignored. Then he lifts the hammer and starts hitting his father on the back and on the back of his head. He hits him 10 times, which leaves him unconscious. He tries to bring him back to life, but it's too late. He's dead. Soon the ambulances and the police cars arrive. His father is officially dead, and Yanis is the one who committed the murder, the crime. "I didn't want to kill him. He was hurting her." That's what he claimed. As he explained later on, the abuse of his mother from their father was an image inside the house that was very usual to them. They were really used to it. Ever since he was a little boy, he would remember himself being a witness of very cruel and violent scenes. Sometimes even the father, the master, would rape their own mother in front of their two sons that would no longer be able to handle that situation. When Yanis was giving his statement outside from the office, there was his mother, his friends, his classmates, and some of his teachers who were claiming that he was innocent and were trying to be present and give to the family and to Yanis courage in that difficult time. Some of them were protecting him from the paparazzi so his face wouldn't be exposed to the whole world. Between the people that were there, present supporting Yanis, was his headmaster, Thrasivoulos Skipas, who would describe Yanis as a noble, kind, obedient and willing child. Yanis was for us the student of the poor apartment, and we will make sure he finishes school. Yanis feels remorse, he feels bad, and is asked to attend the funeral of his father and apologize to him. His request is denied, and instead the judge announces that Yanis should be held in custody until his trial. His trial, the result of his trial, was innocent. Yanis took the stand on January 14 of 2000. By his side is once more his mother, and on the other side, the two witnesses were the two brothers of the victim, Yanis' uncles. Yanis goes to jail for 8 years. That's the prison time that was given to him for murder, for plotted murder without being in an emotional state, which means he knew what he was doing. But 2 years later, the court order from the Mikto Orkoto Efetio, which is the second degree court, changes everything. The judges see 6 proper well-being, let me tell you, actually, to explain. In Greece, if you have a proper life before committing a crime, and if you were a kind person and all that, that is usually considered in court. Like, you will get a sentence, a jail sentence, but if your proper life, prior life to the crime, you're a noble man without any tax frauds and everything like that, that might be considered in court and you will get a reduced jail time. In this case, that was also considered in his case. So he ended up going to jail for 3 years, and he could apply for to be able to execute his sentence outside from jail in another way. His mother was a witness as well, and she said that I should have left sooner. The president of the courthouse, the judge, said that you could have found a solution, but your mind wasn't working. You didn't have to be killed or to get divorced. crime case, a murder case is always a murder case, but it's important to understand sometimes the reasoning, because when the state is absent and there is nothing more you can do, sometimes you have to take the law and the matter in your own hands, and that's one of the cases. Yanis was acting for his mother and for their well-being, so he did what he thought was best, and that's what the court said to him. Make sure you fix what you've done by helping your family. Yanis afterwards was set free and he was let in back in the society. After the court, everyone was hugging Yanis and jumping, and it was a really emotional time. Everyone was there present for him. It's important to state that Yanis had the support of everyone in his environment, and no one had anything bad to say about him. Despite the conditions and the life he was experiencing at home, he never let that to his everyday life. He was a good student, he was a good friend, and everyone had a kind word to say about him. If you were Yanis, if you were in that case, what would you do? Would you take matters in your own hands? Would you try to contact the police and file a report? Would you take this to court? What would you do? This was the crime case for today. I will see you in the next video. Bye.